Hi and welcome to my Visual Basic recording system. Okay, let me show you guys how it works. Let's say you enter some data in there. All you just need to do is select the members category you intend to enter in there and add a name here. Let's say this name is Grace. That's fine. Let's click on add. And one other thing you can do with this application is you can always select reset, okay, and just delete and so on. So what I would do now is I can take you straight back into Visual Basic development environment, and we put one of these together. So let's do that now, guys. Okay, welcome back to Visual Basic. So I'm going to click on new project and let's give this a name. Let's call it VB_record, and make sure you're Visual Basic and select Windows Form application. Click on OK. Now that our Visual Basic environment is ready, let's define the size of the screen to approximately 1368 bytes by, let's go for maybe 800, and make sure start position is centered there. Now the next thing we need to do is go to the toolbox, select all windows or drop it down, come right down here. Let's select list box, and we have our list box there. Let's paste it somewhere there, right there, and select group box. We're gonna need two of those, right here, one here, and let's extend it that much, but we can always copy this because we need one more here. So drag it that much, and here I have another group box. I'll take that down, increase the size of this, and we need two panels. You don't have to use panels, you can also use a group box, but I just want to use a panel to make it different. Right there, one panel, just copy, and another panel here. Both panels, select them and change the back color or the border style. Let's change it to fixed single and move it right down. Then we need some buttons right inside those panels. 1, 2, there. Then we need text box and labels. Labels, text box. Alright, let's speed up the design of that. One label here and a combo box. There we go. So let's speed up this design of the whole interface, but then we need one single label here. Let's speed it up now, but before then let me just run and show you guys how it looks. This is how the whole interface looks. Nothing is happening right now, so I'm going to close that and just speed it up. Right there, guys, this is how my interface looks right now, but nothing is happening. So let me start with the exit button here. So I presume it's got a name. Double click on the exit button and enter as follows. First of all, let's declare a variable. Call that exit. I exit as dialog result right there, and in here let's say exit equals message box. We just don't want to exit. We would prefer the system to prompt the user of what they want to do. So in there we just enter confirm if you want to exit. there. So now comma, and let's enter record there, system, as the title of our message box that will pop up. Then the next thing we want to do is let's enter message box button there, right here, so that will give us some buttons to click on. Dot, yes or no, and next message box icon right there. Let's select dot question there. Okay, that's for our message box. I can just, let's press enter so that we have it on 2 lines so that you guys can see it there. So the next thing is we want to use an if statement to check if our customer or the end user intend to leave. If exit equals dialog results dot yes, then ask the customer just exit the system, end user to exit the system, application dot exit there. That is the lines of code for exit. Okay, the next thing we want to do now is we want to double click on the form and populate this combo box. Double click on the form. So for the form, that will be CMB combo dot add items dot add. Okay, the first item we want to add is annual member there, and speed that up. Okay, while we are still on the form load, let's set the btn delete button. I think is reset or delete. Okay, btn delete. Let's see, do we have btn delete? Let's check that. No, we don't have the btn delete, so let's come in the btn delete there. So back in there and set btn delete dot text. No, we want to actually dot enable equals, let's say false. Right, so if we run the system, this is what will happen. This is false, and we have all of those data that we can just select. Okay, these 2 buttons does nothing, so exit works, that's fine. Okay, now let's come back to this button, the add button, and add all of the following information. Let's say list member dot items dot add. So what we're adding will be as follows. So the very first item happens to be TXT member ID dot text. So plus VB tab, that's to give us a tab. Alright, let's add another tab, VB tab, so that makes it 2. So maybe I should just copy this VB tabs. I'm going to need that. Now the next component happens to be TXT. It's not a TXT, it's CMB member dot text, because that's a combo box. Now the next one will be TXT first name dot text. Okay, we need enough room for the last one, so I'm just going to press enter here and paste that in there. Then the last one is TXT surname dot text. There we go, guys. So if I run it now and enter, let's say member ID 1, select whatever their surname is, let's say Paul Omen, click on that, and that is what you get, guys. So what I want to do is let's add a title here. Okay, so let's come into the form load. We can always do that on the form load. Yeah, double click on the form load, and for the form load we enter as follows. Okay, that is for the label, so those would be the title. Right, as you can see, I have a tab here, and a tab here as well. So let's try that out and see. There we go. But now decision time. Let's enter member ID there. Let's make that and select and give that a name. Let's say that's Johnny Davis and add. Okay, that's fine, guys. Alright, so what we want to do now is to be able to select any of these and delete. So if we select, we want this to be enabled, and the reset, we want the reset to work as well. In the case of the reset, we can just maybe copy all of these names and just change them around. Come down in here, double click on the reset, paste that in there, so this become equals there. That's the reset for that one. Done. Get rid of all of this, and I think this one we can use dot clear there. Dot clear, can we? No, we can't. So that's going to be txt. Clear that. Clear this as well. Delete off all of this and clear. There, that's the clear taken care of. Okay, now we need one more thing. You see this very one, we can always, when it's selected, so let's deal with that here. So we double click on this, and in there let's go for if list member dot select index, then btn delete dot enable equals true. Okay, all right, that we enables that. Now if we run that, this is what will happen. Let's say we enter some data in there, and the name happens to be as follows. If we select this, that enables that, so we have to be able to delete. Okay, and that'll be the end of the program. So let's come in right here, double click. So right in here we want this, paste the list details there, dot items dot remove at. Okay, so the item that we remove, that will be dot selected index, and right underneath here we might as well disable the delete button immediately. Dot disable dot enable equals false as well there. So if we run it now and enter some details, so members details in there, let's record some members details, M004, let's say, and it is a non-member, and the name happens to be, let's say, is Henry or Helen. Okay, Helen, let's say Helen Henry, and there we go, guys. So if we select any item from Henry, we can always delete. You see that? That's gone. Okay, let's check out the reset. Does the reset works? It works for this, but it's not working for this because we haven't set this to be cleared. Yeah, okay, let's go back to the reset button as well. Yeah, we can clear. So right here in the reset button, let's take care of the list box dot items In this case, you're going to say dot clear, but there will be a problem because it will get rid of all of this data. Okay, so if you want to understand what I'm talking about, let me copy this first and I just run it. You see it now, you see what will happen. So anytime I click on the clear button, you see all of those are gone. So what I intend to do is the data copied, I paste it in there. Yeah, so it will clear and at the same time replace. Okay, come in here. Now to find that out, let's enter whatever in there, and the name is, let's say, Kelly Casey. Let's Kelly Casey there. We can always clear and there. Okay guys, you see how easy that is. So before I leave, let me show you guys the whole lines of codes again. It's very easy. When you double click on the add, those are the lines of code that add data, and here are the lines of code for form load right in here. Okay, exit, lines of code for exit. Now delete, there we go. Reset, the lines of code for reset. And that's how you create your own record system. So let's run it one more time. And the name is Paul Oman. That's Paul Oman in there. Change that, and member this time around, and the name is, let's say, Peter Echo. Then the other one, let's say Ayo Lagos. Non-member there. Okay, let's go for Ewu. Visa, and the members number is annual member there. Okay guys, so with that I'm gonna call it the end of this recording system. I suppose you guys enjoy it. So Miles London. So with that guys, I'm gonna call it the end of this tutorial. I suppose you enjoyed. So you all have a nice day now, and bye for now.